Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the Foundry. I am JB here with Sly, and today we're reviewing some more of The Last of Us. We're on episode 5, Endure and Survive. Slykiko, my main man. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing phenomenal, man. I'm clicking my heels together, but I'm trying not to simulate, infected. I'm excited.
I'm pretty hyped up. We've been working really hard and a lot of stuff going on with it. We haven't been able to get these reviews out to you guys. We apologize. Had a lot of stuff going on, but we are back. Let us head back to Kansas City, where this episode takes place. Kind of a two-parter with KCMO.
Oh yeah.
Where we left off on the last episode. Sam and Henry, we met them at the very end of the episode. We got a little backstory info on what Sam and Henry are all about. You know, why they're the most wanted duo in Kansas City, which is kind of interesting. What did you think of their little backstory that we got to see?
I enjoyed bits and pieces of it. I'm having a little bit of issues with the whole, I guess, I can't remember. Is Henry the younger one? No, Sam's the younger
Sam's the younger one, yes.
Sam's the younger one. I don't have any, like, a really big issue with it, but, like, him being deaf really is throwing a thing for me, because I'm like, how has he not died yet?
Yeah, that's pretty amazing that he was born during the infection, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah.
And that he was able to stay alive and he was able to learn sign language during all of that in these circumstances. It's quite pretty amazing, but
there's a lot of things that, like, this episode, they go into a lot of detail about, like, why Henry did the things he did for Sam.
Right.
I mean, you find out, like, Sam had a terminal disease. He had, like, leukemia or some shit. It's like, okay, hold on. Like, backtrack. You're surviving diseases like this in the midst of a,
yes, in 2003, they had a cure for leukemia.
Yeah. I'm like, holy shit, dude.
Pretty outstanding stuff right there, man.
I know, right?
We got to see a little bit more Kathleen. I was like I thought she was fine. You know, she wasn't a gigantic villain, a huge threat. She felt like she was a huge threat with misused resources, which I kind of enjoyed. You know, because everyone's human. You know, people make mistakes. They let their emotions get the best of them sometimes. Even though, like, she had a literal army at her disposal, but she just misused her resources and fucked up the community. You know, which I thought was a pretty human thing to do. You know, a human mistake, you know, because she let her emotions get in the way of the shit, you know, and she just had tunnel vision and it all went to shit. Which I can't remember if it was the last episode, but they actually had a little moment where her right-hand man Perry came up to her and was like, hey, what are we gonna do about the underground like little hole or something like that they briefly talked about.
And she just kind of dismissed that. She swept it under the rug. She's like, we'll worry about that after. Henry's priority number one. It's like, dude, like, can you not see the irony in the fact that you're chasing one man when the rest of, like, this entire town has just, they're happy. You gave them freedom.
Yeah, like, keep giving, like, be a leader instead of, like, a tyrant, like, oh, I need to kill, kind of thing like that. And it was interesting. So we found out that Fedra was overthrown by these group of just people, these group of survivors. They were overthrown. Found out that Henry was a rat for Fedra to try to get medicine and drugs for his little brother, which is like an interesting, noble cause. You know, painting him in a decent light. You got to see the relationship between Joel and Ellie and Sam and Henry grow. Yeah, they got to bond quite a bit. They got to grow. You got to see the interaction between the different ways they care for each other, you know, them and their sacrifices for each other too. It felt very weird in some parts of the episode how, like, Ellie just kind of interacting with Sam felt very weird and strange and just not supernatural. The writing is pretty off. I did like the episode overall. I'm not trying to talk shit, but the writing felt off. Ellie is just kind of like my biggest nitpick for every episode is I don't like her, man.
Yeah. I've got a lot of issues with, you know, the show overall.
Fucking
Ellie's one of the biggest ones. Because it's like, dude, she's supposed to be quite literally possibly the main character.
Right.
If not, like, a main supporting character. And the fact that her presence is just not not fun to have around.
I
And
don't
then,
like
like
her.
the fact that there's an absence of
I
so much
don't like her.
infected.
Yes.
I hate that even more. My issue with this show is how little they have encounters with infected. They make it seem like it's rare, and it's like, dude, it is not rare.
I mean, like, they're the reason the apocalypse exists, you know?
Yeah.
That's why I love the ending of this episode, is that it just went haywire, went, like, absolutely crazy. Because, you know, what Kathleen and Perry were ignoring came up, bit him on the ass. And then a giant, huge horde of infected came out, killed all the soldiers, I'm assuming. People were dying left and right.
Oh, yeah, dude. Nobody survived that shit. No.
We saw a massive, big infected guy, a bloater. Huge, amazing practical effects with the bloater. Even that one ballerina, little infected girl that dove into the car trying to get Ellie.
That whole cliche where she was like, kids die all the time.
Yeah.
5 seconds later, a little kid comes and ganks her shit.
Yeah, that was pretty. That was interesting. I like that infected. She looked crazy.
It was kind of spooky, dude. If I encountered that in the game, I wouldn't know what to do.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah, I liked a lot of the practical effects with that. It's very intense, but man, Joel, what a crack shot with that sniping bit.
I know, right?
Yeah, how did you think about how that the parallels between the game part of Joel approaching the sniper compared to the show?
I liked it. I really like how he just kind of like dismissed the guy. He's like, it's dark as shit, and the guy can't shoot for shit. Like, I'll be fine. And then he just sneaks over there. Kind of sad because he offered the guy too. He's like, dude, just put the fucking gun down. You can go. Yeah. But you know, old man Jenkins is like, nah, man, I'm quick.
He's standing by. He also hates Sam and Henry so fucking much.
Right. That's why I was like, dude, why do other people care so much about this? I get Kathleen, but that just seemed like lazy writing on like a lot of other people, like not questioning this whole like crusade against Sam and Henry. But it was really cool seeing all those like Hummers and like vehicles roll up. With
I know. It was kind of like, holy shit, yeah. And it's like, damn, like Kansas City is well off, and it just makes you like shake your head even more. Like, damn, Kathleen, you could have had it all. Away. Yeah, I threw it all away. Could have had it all, dude. Yeah, had it all. Yeah, it was pretty goofy. So we end up seeing like Kathleen and Perry and a lot of the Kansas City group get killed off by a huge horde infected, kind of at the finale climax of the episode, which is amazing. They almost made it out of Kansas City, but that there was a little sniper, and we had a sniping bit, kind of like from the show, or from the game. Excuse me.
Instead of daytime, it was nighttime, and instead of him like taking out, I guess. Because, like, the difference there is, like, you don't see, like, the faction. You just see that stupid Hummer, remember?
Yeah.
It's, like, chasing you around with the barbed wire.
Exactly.
Versus here, it's, like, everyone's out of the vehicles at this point.
Right.
So it's really just infected and then people. Mostly infected was what Joel was shooting.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing and just all over the place that Sam, Henry, and Ellie were, like, in the middle of all of that debacle, you know, of just a ravaged state of that neighborhood, of all the zombies, all the gunfire and everything. And there was a point, it was pretty nice that Joel paid attention to, that Ellie fell or something, and then Henry stopped what he was doing and he ran back to save her. And he's like, oh, okay, like, he's okay in my book, like, he actually cares. You know, like, who are you when I'm not around, type of thing, you know. It was he saw what kind of person he was. And which is kind of interesting because later in the episode, towards the end, he told him, was like, hey, like, if you want to tag along with us, like, that's okay with me. He realized that he does care for Ellie and the group, and like wants to preserve their lives just as much as Joel wants to preserve theirs, you know, because he's a very paranoid guy. Joel's been through a lot of shit, you know. He's been around the neighborhood. He knows how people are. He knows how the infected are, you know. He's paranoid for the right reasons too. And it was nice to see that bit of humanity in him get, like, proved wrong, you know? And kind of a sad ending with towards the end. Everyone's kind of, like, laid up in a motel room after they escape Kansas City and the massive bloodbath of all the infected, killing all the Kansas City people. And then Sam reveals to Ellie, when they're all tucked away going to bed, that he was bit!
Fuck.
Yeah, he was bit, dude. So Ellie has a great idea, right?
Smear blood.
Yep. You wanted to go into that?
That was so. I don't know. Like, I get that she's a kid, but fuck, man, she was really stupid there. Really stupid.
I feel like that's really stupid too.
I really would have preferred that it was the big reveal. Like, they just wake up in the morning, like everything's okay, and then you see him kind of acting weird, and then the reveal is then. I did not care for the whole like, hey, I got bit. Oh, well, you know what? My blood is magic. If I rub my blood on your cut, you'll be good. I'm cure. Like
what? What if she got infected by that? Like in a different
Honestly,
way?
yeah. I'm like, dude, you're gonna get HPV doing that fucking shit. You're not even gonna get infected. You're gonna get a different disease.
Like little kids got cancer and shit. Like
yeah.
I guess she wanted to save him, and it was just like a really weird thing for her to wake up, and he's like all turned and like looking away, and it's like, oh come on, dude. It's just like very convenient stuff.
I feel like the show, in their efforts to change small things, it had a massive effect on the emotional impact of the story, because instead of me just opening up my heart and feeling sad or being like oh my god, that was really like touching, I start questioning things, and the more I question things, the less I start feeling.
Yeah,
show took way too much of that. It took away too much.
You spend a lot of time trying to make things make sense because it doesn't. Yeah. So you just spend a lot of time like kind of questioning like small details and larger details sometimes too. And like it doesn't really make sense, I feel like they were trying really fucking hard with the sympathetic route for Sam. Like he's deaf. Like, oh man, that must be really hard for Apocalypse. And he's got cancer. I'm like, oh man, that's got to be impossible for the Apocalypse. Sure. Whoa, wow, and he's infected too, and he's a child. Like, wow, like how many handicaps are you gonna give one character?
And he's like, shit, dude, you hit him with the fucking 5-piece right there, dude. Everything.
Yeah, it's just
Plus, they never mentioned their parents, so it's like, okay, well, you've got this older brother that's trying to look after his little brother all by themselves, and it's like, okay, he's a rat. I mean, they really like piled on all this shit, and the game does the exact opposite. It does nothing. It just says like, oh yeah, I did something I shouldn't have. People want me dead. It's like, okay, cool.
It's very natural,
Yeah.
Like it's not forced or anything like that, and it definitely felt very. Did not feel natural. I wouldn't say it felt forced, but it did not feel natural to me.
It didn't come naturally. Agreed.
So everyone wakes up the next morning, and Ellie's attacked by Sam because he's a zombie. And Joel wasn't able to act quick enough, but Henry, just popped his brother in the fucking head, shot him right in the head, and bada bing, bada boom, dead. Just killed his brother.
First person Henry ever kills. He shoots his brother. Yeah.
Yep.
That was another weird parallel for me. I was like, okay, you know what? In the game, you've got him shooting all kinds of infected, shooting people, shanking people. And then here he is. He's like, I've never hurt a soul in my life.
Right.
And then first chance he picks up a gun, he blasts his fucking brother's brains out like he's a sniper. He doesn't even miss. First shot.
Yeah, it's a pretty good shot, dude.
I was like, okay, well, goddamn, that's... Whoa. Don't get me wrong. That scene broke me. Like the silence after he shot Sam. I was like, oh my god.
You could just feel his heart sinking, like, after that part. Like, you just knew it was just like, whoa. Like, it, because immediately afterwards, he literally even says, like, what have I done? And then he just, he takes
They did not shy away with the scene either. They're showing, like, the blood pooling away. I was like, holy shit, man.
Yeah, he aims the gun at his head, pulls the trigger, he offs himself, and, Henry Sam no more. Yep. And the show keeps up with the common theme of introducing characters and immediately killing them off.
Yep.
So Joel and Ellie, the death train, everyone they meet turns to gold kind of thing. So props to them. Feels weird, I don't know. I don't really know how to feel about it. I mean, like in the game, Bill necessarily didn't die, Oh,
yeah.
But you assume that
he's miserable.
Eventually, you assume eventually it's coming.
Yeah. Honestly, there are no happy endings in the game, which is kind of funny because, like, the third episode, you kind of got a happy ending with Bill and Frank. Yeah. So everyone else, no happy ending. I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting.
It is interesting. It was a really sad moment there. I actually liked Henry's character a lot.
Me
In
too.
this
Me
episode,
too.
I really liked him. I felt sympathetic. I liked him. I thought he was well written, and he was just a very subtle character, and they didn't go like super hard with him either. And
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that. I liked him.
They did well there. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they buried them, and then it was just like a really weird like thing at the end of the show of like Ellie trying to be all like badass and just like hard and quiet
Act like
and
it didn't
distant.
pay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I didn't even care at all. Like, okay, sure. And I just felt off like super callous and shit. And it's like, okay, kid, like, sure.
Nice try. We know you're lying.
Yeah, I just like maybe I just don't care because I don't like her as a character, and she's not really doing it for me. She's not really convincing me of a decent character at all. So maybe that's why I didn't care. I didn't believe it. But just more hate for Ellie, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. I have a hard time buying any of her lines and delivery. It just doesn't come off as genuine.
It's not all on her. It's also the show has really bad written dialogue as well.
For her.
Yes, for her specifically. And so it's not all on her, but like also I don't think she's great.
No.
She she was like from Game of Thrones, wasn't she?
She was, which is funny because like I haven't finished that season of Game of Thrones where she's in, but I've seen clips of it.
Yeah.
And her character is very stiff and like rigid and very like adult for a child, but it fits her a little bit better. It kind of makes more sense. It's in character. Here, I just every time she opens her mouth, I'm like, you're trying to be someone you're not. You're not succeeding at trying to be this person.
Like in parentheses, childlike, and it's just like it doesn't get across to her or something like that. I don't know. It's not great, but let's get down to a number review here, a star rating. So out of 10, man, I gotta think about this actually. Maybe a 7, maybe.
I'm thinking 7 as well.
Yeah,
I'm thinking 7 as well.
I think a solid 7 is pretty good. I did enjoy the episode overall. I would say less, not a ton of complaints, more the same of like, I'm not big on Ellie. I didn't super connect with Sam, even though they were really trying hard for that. But Henry was class. Joel's always good. Love him. And his sniping abilities, fucking great. But yeah, that's our official review for episode 5 is a 7. Thank you guys so much for watching and tuning in. We appreciate all the support on these Last of Us reviews. You guys are awesome. But we'll see you guys later on the next review. But until then, bye, slugs.
Bye.